Let's go. Let's go. So I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time out of their night and joining us. This is Real Bread Life. I am Jay Rome. Again, I don't think I got the Instagram going, but it is what it is. Hopefully the Facebook is going, which will in turn kick it over to the Instagram. So it's Thursday night. This is number 91. Just want to go over a few things, get into a couple things that I had that I wanted to talk about. Just some topics that I had got in questions on, a couple things in the chat. For those of you that don't know, I'll let you know where you can catch us everywhere on Thursdays at 6:15. TikTok is Real Bread League. Facebook is the Real Bread Life group and RBL Winner. Instagram is Real Bread Life, and the YouTube is Real Bread Life and Real Bread League. Any of those that you punch up, you go to the website, www.realbreadleague.com, we will pop up. If you go to the website, www.realbreadlife.com, we will pop up. If you go to the website, www.rblJug, that's www.rblJugg.com, we will pop up. So with that being said, you can catch us everywhere on the net, online, and connect with us. What's going on? Let's go. Let's go. I appreciate you jumping in and joining. Like I said, this is number 91. We're climbing to 100. Appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us all this time on all platforms and in groups and in the emails and everywhere, just checking in with us and just, sharing information back and forth. Shout out to my man Brandon. We did some things yesterday. Hopefully he jumps on. If not, we're gonna keep it going. Shout out Chris. I see the content still rocking. Appreciate your help, good brother. So with that being said, a couple of things that I wanted to just talk about that were mentioned and some of the concerns. One of them was about recruiting and retaining jumpers or drivers or just hiring delivery guys. Because in this business, it's tough to keep good people or to find good people, reliable, consistent people to do the job for us, as far as to cover a route. If you have multiple routes and you need someone to you have to teach someone in order for them to learn how to do it. Or if someone's in the business, it's hard to, I want to say steal someone away from someone else, but to get someone to work for you if they're already in a good situation. And with that being said, is one of the things I was going to talk about when it comes to recruiting and retaining quality workers or employees, I would say, in this business. What happens is the pay is not the same all across the board for everyone in this business. Everyone's situation or arrangement that they have with whoever they may be working for or with is different. A lot of times it goes off of percentages, and the percentages are pretty much set across the board at around 10. Sometimes it's 12, sometimes it's 13, 14, it could be 15, depending on the amount of work that is being put in by the person doing the job or running the route, I'll say. I say it that way for this reason. There are some that employ route runners that just put the bread in the store, put the bread on the shelves, take the bread out the store, take the bread off of the shelves. They just deliver the bread. Others have someone that not only delivers the bread, they do the ordering, they communicate with the management and the store staff, and as well as with management and the company that they're partnered with, whether that's Beanbo, Flowers, or Martin's, or Pepperidge Farm. So if you are partnered with any of those, the major, big 3 or 4, and I'm sorry, I don't want to leave out the Mission, Wraps, and the Nature Zone, not Nature Zone. It's escaping me right now, but I actually did an interview with one of the guys that delivers the bread. But my point is, any of those companies that you're partnering with, there's a level of communication that goes on between the owner of the route and the company. And not all the time, the person that is running the route communicates with management, the company, does the ordering, is responsible for all aspects of the route as it relates to the business side of it. So that would determine how well that person will get paid and what the expectation is of that person. Therein lies the difficulty in finding people to do the job, because with that comes the responsibility aspect of running the business. We always talk about the business, the money, how much you can make a week, a month, a year, and what the routes are selling for, what they produce, and what the overall equity to be built up in them is. And on a long-term basis, what you could make and what you could generally pass down to your kids, or you could build a bread empire. There's people that own upwards of 6 to 7, 10 routes. And then you get into, your real serious company status. So 2 or 3 is normal. 5 is exceptionally well. Anything over that, you're really doing real good business. And in order to get to that, it's a level of discipline and communication that's involved on all levels. So finding, basically back to what I started this whole, this one question was about finding and retaining the people to run the routes. And right now, with the way things are going, just generally, as far as employment, job availability, and the cost of living, this is a very, very good time to get into this business if you're willing to put in the work. So if you know anybody looking, or if you watch this video and you have a question, we're here to answer them. And we're always looking. Someone's always looking. It's hard to find reliable, consistent route relief. And that's something that I know my man Chris is working on. And hopefully within the next year or so, it comes to fruition on a very large level. So that was number 1. And the next one was just, it has to do with the cost. One of the costs of running a route, which would be the fuel cost, is between fuel and paying someone, right? So we just talked about paying somebody. Between fuel and paying somebody, that is almost 60% of the cost of running the route weekly. That's about 60% of the cost. So whatever the route is doing, we need to make sure that the route is doing it consistently, because 60% of the revenue will be going towards paying the person that's running the route and the fuel, just the fuel. Because it's you're driving the truck daily, and depending on how big your route is, it will really burn up a lot of gas. And if you have an older truck, or if you don't have, newer trucks are more efficient, fuel efficient. So that's just one of the things that, needs to be addressed or looked at. You know what I mean? The other thing is somebody was talking about the waste, the stale, because we talk about it all the time, and there's no way around it. Absolutely no way around it. You have to put out enough bread to bring back some. You have to bring back some. You're going to bring back some stale, some bread that runs out of code, or it's going to be going out of code. And with most of the companies, we have to bring it back before the code ends, meaning that date of expiration. With that being said, we know there is a stale cap in other companies. They all vary as far as how much and what you can bring back. To bring back a lot of stale and excess, and the company that we're partnered with would get you, you have that negative attention on you. That's grounds for some maybe getting breached if you consistently do it. And if you're not bringing back any stale, they will come out to your stores and take a look and see why, because that would mean you don't have enough bread on the shelves. You don't want to have an issue with not having enough bread on the shelves. That's going to be a real problem. And once you get into that type of problem, it's hard to shake it, because you get the eyes on you for the negative reason. You want to have the eyes on you for being positive. And actually, if you're doing the right things out there, putting the bread on the shelves, they're not going to be paying that type of attention to you, because actually that's what the expectation is. We're here to sell the bread and do the business. Whenever you don't have communication with the company you're partnering with, as far as in a negative way, that's a good thing. You don't want to have extra communication. Now, communication for support is another thing. You want to have communication. You want to be supported, but you don't want to be crying and whining about it. Meaning there should be some things that we can handle on our own. We should be able to have a communication line with the stores to where we could get some of the things that we need. And when I say that for this reason. I wanted to just talk about me personally. Hold on a second. I think I was at the top of the screen. I had this idea, right? Because in one of my stores, I have an end cap, and I always get that end cap taken. So I walk in and it's gone. It's taken away. They've moved my bread, and they've put coffee on the end cap. They've put soda on the end cap. One time it was cookies, and then it was soda and cookies. So what happened, I found out that, I want to say, Pepsi and Oreo, I think it was one of those. Yeah, they may have had a collaboration where they had a combination and they were on the end cap together. What would be the smart thing for anyone in any company to do is talk to the ketchup and the mustard people and put us up there with them. And even if you don't, just store wide, that would be a smart move. A smart move. Anywhere in the store, that would be a smart move. I don't understand why these things aren't thought of. It's not rocket science. So I just don't understand when there's issues like that can't be solved, when they're more worried about introducing a new product instead of trying to push some hot dog buns and hamburger buns aren't going nowhere. They're never leaving. And I get it. Everyone wants to have healthy bread now. There's a big push for the grains and the ketos and the low carbs and the gluten frees. Not a problem. I think that's dope. That's a good thing. But I think we get caught up, and not me, because I don't run a company. I just do the business end of putting the bread in the stores. I think they get caught up so much of the new hot thing and introducing things that they forget about dancing with the date that got them here, or they came to the party with, meaning the hot dogs, the hamburgers, the wheat bread, the potato bread, the different variations of the white bread. Focusing so much on the new things and ignoring the old things that aren't going anywhere. You have a demographic of people that continue to eat what they like. And I know you want to introduce new things. I just think we should not forget what's already here. You know what I mean? That's just the thing. We can't forget what's already here because we want to introduce something new. And if they ask the people that are in the stores, meaning the vendors, they would have a better idea. And I know there's round tables and there's meetings that they do. All the companies do them. But how much of that information is really put into effect? How much do they plan around that information that they receive at those round tables? That's my question. I just want to know. I want to know, what's the feedback? And I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of things on the board. We have the nice new screens in the sales center with all the information flashing up there, and the information is definitely shared. I do see my guy in there. He's there a lot, but there's a level of some that don't. I'll say it like this: there's a demographic of people in all companies that have, after they've been there 15, 20, 25 years, they're barely able to maneuver through the handheld device, right? So let alone knowing that the handheld device is able to do their orders, it's able to give them the updates, it's able to share the same information that's on the screen in the sales center. They're not aware, or they haven't been shown repeatedly how to do it, or they're not given the opportunity. Some of them don't even want to learn. Let's just say it like that. They don't even want to know. I don't think so. With that being said, the old dog new tricks thing. Can they get by just delivering the bread? Yes. But they're as the times have changed, they're missing some things. And it's affecting their business. And what I see, and I could be wrong, is I see a lot of the companies waiting a lot of the older vendors out. I just see them like they're waiting them out, like they're being patient, because the turnover is going to come at some point. They just have to wait them out, and slowly but surely, they're dropping off. And it feels good to me to see a lot of the more seasoned guys and the old school guys adapting and getting into that curve and learning, versus just saying, I'm not doing this anymore. I wish it was more, but it's just not. So, and the technology is a big part of that. It's a very, very big part. The technology is the biggest part of it all the way around. The other things like the knowing the product, understanding how to put the bread on the shelves, that becomes muscle memory, and it's academic. That's not even a real issue. I think the biggest issue is the technology and keeping up with how it's moving. And we talked about this a while back, a lot of the stores are more order based because people aren't coming out anymore, and they haven't been. But what we see now, the trend changing, because the economy is changing the way it is, with the monies that are available, I'll just say, and what's predicted to happen over the next couple weeks. People aren't going to be able to afford to order food out. People aren't going to be able to take advantage of the luxury of the DoorDash and the Instacart, and even some of the programs that service people that order this stuff aren't even going to be available. So I just would really like to know, what is the plan? What are the company's plans for what's to come? I can say there are some breads that in our company that the prices have dropped, and I think they have gotten ahead of what's going on out here in the stores, and I give them props for that. A lot of some of the Arnold breads, the prices have dropped, and I'm sure that's going to happen in some other brands as well. So stay tuned. What I will do, and I'll be I think I'm going to start next month. Let this month finish out. So in November, the first live in November, I'm going to be putting prices up, and we'll give you some comparisons of what it was and what it is. Okay. We're going to be putting some prices up, and we'll do some comparisons of what it was and what it is. And leading up to the 2 weeks from now, when that happens, or a week and a half, I'll start putting them in the group and on Instagram and Facebook. So just to give somebody, to give the people out there some information, I'm going to start sharing the prices and some of the deals and some of these sales and what's available and what they could do. You know what I mean? So hopefully it helps. And I would like for you to stay tuned. And what you can do to help us and to help yourselves is, when I put these things in the group or I put them online, share them. Share them. You never know. Everybody has somebody on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. I'm going to share it, and then you share it. And when you share it, tell them to share it. The deals and the buy ones, the get twos, and the buy one get one frees, and the price drops. Promise you, it could benefit someone. You know, so let's just share. That's what I'm about, and hopefully we could get a little team of us all sharing and try to help some people save some money out there. Ultimately, that's what I would like to do. So I really appreciate it. You know, I put it on the bottom right here. That's the group. You want to join the Facebook group. We I said this before, like I said, in the group, I want everybody to just share some information. You got a question. This is the email. You need to know about a route. You got a question about something you're looking at. If you already have a route, you got some questions. You've been doing it. You feel like you're ready to take the next step, struggling a little bit. You're unsure. You might not think it's for you. Let us know. Anything we could do will help you out. What's going on, Chris? Hold on a second. There you go. If you want to get in, you got a minute. No, I was basically just talking about a few things. Earlier, I was talking about route relief retention, and just trying to figure out who, what, and where they are, and to get consistent people is not an easy thing. You probably could speak more to it because you have multiple routes, and talking about route relief and just the process of hiring and training and retaining. So that was just one of the things I was talking about, and how the stale is always going to be there. And I was just talking about prices dropping, people not having enough money to really shop. And I know in our company, some of the prices have changed. And I know coming up, there's more prices that are going to be changing. And I was talking about in the coming weeks how I would be every Thursday, putting a price drop on the screen, sharing some information. If somebody had something, they could share it too. And in the groups, Facebook group, how I would be sharing the deals that are going on in our company and some of the changes and things that they're offering. So that was it. I was actually about to wrap up in a minute. I have just working on some things, but that was it. It's all good. We'll catch up. We'll get it right. I'm gonna wrap in a minute. If you got time next week, we'll get on, because I've been on already now for about almost 25. So my plan was to just do 20. So I'm gonna wrap in a minute. With that being said, I thank everybody for taking the time out. We'll be back next week, be 92. And again, it's the holiday, not even a holiday, it's Halloween. But we do give out a lot of stuff in my neighborhood. So, I said that before to someone. We give out a lot of stuff. And I'm glad to be in a position to be able to do that, and my neighbors as well. So it's for the kids. And just so I let people know, no costume, no candy. No costume, no candy. So you can catch us everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. This is live right now on Facebook and YouTube. Instagram is not up. TikTok, I have not enough followers yet to get there. One day we'll get there. And until then, we're going to rock how we've been rocking. But that being said, I hope what I said helps. And come back next week and we should have more. I am Jay Rome. This is Real Bread Life with the Real Bread League, using Real Bread Logistics so we could get it done. RBL on everything: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. That's all I got for now. Stay blessed. Keep stacking.